Elon Musk has offered to buy Twitter for about $44 billion. Now, sure, in the last few days, there's been some delays, but notwithstanding, why would he do that? Well, the official story is he felt Twitter had the power to act like a global public square where dialogue and opinions of all kinds are welcome. He would remove censorship and suppression and even reinstate Donald Trump's account with 88 million followers to its former glory. Okay. Mr. Musk is the wealthiest man in the world with a net worth of $340 billion. He has more money than all but 43 of the 211 countries on Earth. Hard to get my head around that. And while money buys a lot of things, including Twitter, it does not buy freedom of speech. Does he expect his wealth will change the law, or did he make a mistake? We may have to twist the lens and look at the true cost of free speech. The First Amendment of the American Constitution enshrines 5 essential freedoms: religion, press, assembly, petition of the government, more important than you might realize, with the best known being the freedom of speech. Now, for context, the Canadian Charter of Rights is essentially the same. The Americans borrowed the idea of being able to criticize the government, assemble in groups, or openly discuss religion from the Greeks circa 407 BC, who called it parrhesia. When the First Amendment was adopted on December 15, 1791, parrhesia was the gold standard. Now, since 1791, the courts have continuously interpreted freedom of speech so that it now means I cannot say, publish, or distribute material that is obscene, copyright, defamatory, or contains true threats or false statements that could lead to serious injury, like yelling fire in a crowded theater. Can't do that. Even the fringe groups, left and right, have agreed to the rules, so we must have it about right. Then came Facebook. Then came the rest. Now, along the way, the idea of media changed too. Consider that the printing press allowed mass communication for the first time, and the internet is just an ultra-fast, high-volume printing press ready to distribute, not create, all kinds of information, for better or for worse. Here's the big idea. The key difference between traditional print media and web-based media is anonymity. If I was slandered by an ancient Greek, I could get my day in court. If a New York Times or Vancouver Sun writer said horribly untrue things about me, I can usually identify the source and take the appropriate action. However, if trolls or bots running through a dozen proxy servers in 4 different countries publish a salacious story about me, who am I going to call? Another key point. The First Amendment does not apply to private companies. How about that? Your boss can fire you for discussing politics in the workplace with no recourse. Ancient Greeks be damned. Now consider too that traditional media content is monitored carefully by groups like the CRTC, where social sites are not. Now, I only learned recently why. Facebook, once a dating site, has quietly transformed into an unregulated news service, and the others followed suit. Powerful algorithms fueled by artificial intelligence feed us a steady diet of whatever kind of news and fake news we like, and tend to shape a narrative that can become very narrow and sometimes dangerous. That means Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and others are public companies acting like private companies and not at all acting like the founding fathers intended, as is currently their legal right. The result? The courts are having a terrible time with enforcement of free speech and applying the law evenly when it comes to digital content. Now, to remedy this, I predict that anyone who wants a social media account will soon have to provide full personal information, and Twitter and others will be forced to adhere to the same publishing standards as a writer from the New York Times. That means, too, if I break the rules of free speech, social sites will hand over all my information to the authorities. No trolls, no bots, no hiding behind fake identities. It's a slippery slope, but it's coming for sure. The bottom line is we don't know why Musk wants Twitter, but the stated intention is to return it to a private company, governed only then by his rules and not the First Amendment. That doesn't sound like freedom at all. In fact, the opposite. Without removing anonymity, the next few years will be a wild ride.